All right, we're going to try this again and see if we can get going. Stupid updates, apparently. I think we're good to go now, so we're going to wait for Vern to come on. Like I said, we're going to be talking about college football, coaching changes, not only a lot of things going on. And if you've been witness to the OU stuff that's been going on lately, obviously Lincoln Riley leaves for USC. Lots of things going on, but we'll talk about that. We got Brian Kelly going to LSU. Marcus Freeman takes over for Notre Dame, but there's other coaches leaving. Just crazy, crazy, crazy stuff going on. So let's get this going. We'll wait for Vern, and we will continue on. Let me see if I can get him on. All right, so hopefully we'll get started here in just a second. As always, technical difficulties stink with a Facebook Live, but we'll get Vern going, so don't miss out. Hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful week and had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And we'll see what's going on. As soon as Vern gets on, we'll be talking about the, obviously, championship weekend. Lots of games starting tomorrow night up until Saturday. Big games. Oregon, Utah. We got Bama, Georgia, Oklahoma State, Baylor. Obviously, a lot of these games have playoff implications on the line. So we'll be talking about that as well. I'll be giving you my top 6 that I think that still have a legitimate shot at making the playoffs. We could see a 2-loss team. It's possible we could see a 2-loss team in the playoffs. So here we go. We're getting ready to talk, and yeah, I hate Facebook. I don't even know. I don't even know. It's been a week of hell.
Well, it's been a week for us, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's good news. I mean, listen. Obviously, we're going to get into it, so might as well. And I think for most people, it's not that he left. It's how he left. I think that's the biggest thing. And I think that's the biggest consensus here in Oklahoma is not that he left, it's how he left. And if he did dirty, like I said, and on Tuesday night when I was talking to, or Monday night when I was talking to Chris Price, I was like, I'm never going to dog anybody for wanting to leave or better themselves at all. Everybody's done it. Everybody's gone and done something better or better themselves. And if USC is a better job than Oklahoma, so be it. I never wanted to argue what is a step up, what is a step down. Because I don't have that. I don't know if I can say that. So, but I don't know if it's, and I hear all the conspiracy theories and maybe he just wasn't in the game against Baylor. Maybe he wasn't in the game against Iowa State. Maybe he wasn't in the game against Oklahoma State. I don't know. That would have, there's only one person that knows that, or 2 people that know that, and that's Lincoln Riley and God. That's straight up. That's only 2 people that know how he felt during those games. And Kevin Jackson says, "Go Pokes!" Finally, yeah. It took Lincoln Riley to leave the state before you finally get a Coach of the Year award there down in Stillwater. So I appreciate it. No, I kid. Congratulations to the Pokes. I just want to poke fun. But I mean, this has been a weird year. And that's just that, this is for 2021 period for every team out there. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Not just Oklahoma, not just Texas. I'm talking across the board. It's been a weird year for football in general. What do you think about that?
I mean, I completely agree. It's like everybody's got a post-COVID high. I don't know if it's the vaccinations, stay in drinking or what, man. But this year has been absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we can talk about Lincoln. I mean, just, man, look, there are too many little indicators that make me believe that this dude knew. Like USC called him and was like, look, brother, if this cat is failing, we're gonna fire him, and you are our number one choice. Are you interested? LSU offered this dude $12 million, and he kicked it to the side like nothing. You have to know that something's coming. That dude probably called USC and it was like, hey man, $15 million is the number. Has to be the money. USC is not par with OU. No, I completely agree. That's not USC is a name school. I mean, look at all of the quarterbacks that have come out of there. How many of them have actually done something? Well, look at all the players out of there. I mean, how many of them have actually done? If you name 5 superstar USC players, name 5.
Like Reggie Bush, Keyshawn, Matt Leinart.
Matt, a superstar. That dude's making Wendy's commercials now, man.
True. He has made. Well, I mean, he's on Fox with Reggie Bush, but yeah.
He went to Arizona and failed. He was considered before Jamarcus Russell. I think he was considered like the biggest quarterback bust in like the last few decades.
Well, it's definitely not. It's definitely not old boy in Carolina right now. So
no, and then look, man, like he benches, Spencer. And he leaves, and now Spencer. It's just, I mean, look, we can conspiracy theory it all we want to. I'm telling you, Spencer Ratliff is going to USC. Period.
I'm not.
Period.
They have him on LSU. They have LSU as his number one. At least what I saw today, LSU is the number one spot for him, or Arizona State is the other one. I don't know.
Well, for Herm, bro. He's not going to play for Herm Edwards. He's not.
I do know this. I do know that all those recruits that just decommitted from Oklahoma within a day just recommitted to USC or committed to USC. So I get it. And I mean, again, I'm not going to bash any coach anywhere, anything. That's not for me to do. Okay. He was here at Oklahoma. I'll let you do it. I will let you do it.
He left at the beginning of the year. That dude left between seasons, man. He just didn't – he wasn't the same as he was last year. The drive wasn't there. His gaff, as we call it, his gaff was way low. And then just to roll out, I mean –
yeah. I mean, because I feel like if it comes from me, let's be honest, I feel like if it comes from me, the people are going to say you're just excuses. This is why they didn't win, and I don't want. I mean, I know especially Oklahoma State fans watching are going to say, "Well, you're just excuse." I don't know.
You mean
we talked about Oklahoma State all year long. We said they were good. I knew they had a chance to go in this year and beat them. We've known that, so I got no excuses. I don't know if that was the reason they lost or won or whatever the case may be. I can't say that. I can't. Again, the only 2 people that know that are God and Lincoln Riley.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Does it change the way I think about the game that was played? A little bit, because I've never seen Lincoln Riley run the ball on 2nd and 25 or 3rd and 25. I've never seen Lincoln Riley do that in my entire life. So I don't know what the game plan was. Okay. And again, I'm not taking anything away from Oklahoma State. So if your Okie State fans are watching, I'm not taking anything away from them. They won. Good job. Congratulations. I said it the other night. Congratulations. But to me, something seemed off about this game I'm talking from, man, probably Nebraska on. Something seemed different in the game plan of OU. From Nebraska on, something seemed. That's my mother-in-law. If she's saying something smart. Come on, Ma. Come on, Ma. Don't be talking smack. But something seemed off. You're right. And I think you posted it and I posted it as well. 1 foot out the door half the season or majority of the season. And it just, again, you're right. And I could probably go back and look at a lot of film that seemed a lot of this seemed just really, really off, from play calling to, it seemed vanilla. Did it not? Did the play, I mean, and even the fans talking about it seemed vanilla.
Yep.
But, you know, I mean, again, it could have just been a transition. I don't know. Again, I'm not going to speculate too much on when and if he left. He coached. I have my thoughts, but I want to. I mean, I'll just say it. I like you said, I think he was gone from Nebraska on. I think he was. When we talked about USC firing that coach, it just seemed weird. I mean, I don't know. You're right. And he goes, I didn't talk to USC until Sunday morning. Well, no, duh, dude. No, duh.
He didn't confirm with USC.
Your agent talked to USC from September 14th on.
Yeah.
Your agent talked to USC. You didn't, because you know there would be some NCAA violations, which there still, at the end of the day, might be some NCAA violations. If some of the rumors, again, and it's rumors, none of this is true, but if these coaches were recruiting for USC while on OU's payroll, you've got recruiting violations. Now, we know that he went and recruited in the Southern California area to get all these players. That to me means he could have went and talked to Southern Cal while he was doing recruiting. And that would be a recruiting violation.
Yeah.
He's going to be making $7 million more a year in California. He's going to be making what? No. What was it? 12 to 15? It's 12 to 15 million per year in California.
15 million. Because LSU offered him 12, and he turned that down and went to USC. I agree with you. I also think he went to USC because, he knew he had all those guys from California. Them dudes didn't want to come to Oklahoma and play out. They didn't want to come out here. I mean, this dude he focused his recruiting in an area where he was going to end up. He was smart. It just like the game plan he put in place was, it was straight. Like, you know what I mean? If you're going to be gangster against the NCAA, like, do it kind of low key. But now that he's already gone, it just, and I find it's crazy. It's like, all right, we're second loss. We're eliminated from the college playoff championship. Deuces. I'm out. Like, this dude had to play. And then right after he says, I'm going, Spencer's like, yeah, I'm going to enter the portal.
Well, we all knew. We all knew Spencer was going in the portal.
Why didn't he do it earlier? Because he's waiting to see where Lincoln's going to go. I think Lincoln and his team, like, low-key let these dudes know, if things go right, we're all going to end up in California. Gets his second loss, and he's just like, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm leaving. Like, yeah, you guys weren't good enough for me. We didn't make the college football playoffs. I can't even stick out. What, he's got 3 more games with these dudes? He can't even do that. That's horrible. That's horrible. I hope he goes to USC and just gets donkey kicked all over the place. I do. I don't wish him any luck.
The majority of Oklahoma will agree that they hope that he gets donkey kicked along with you. So
yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's a way to do things, man, and we talk about it all the time. We talk about it with these players. There's a way to do it, and there's a way not to. Look at Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly took a job. He let his AD know, hey, man, look, if I get offered a job, I'm thinking about leaving. Okay. He goes and he sees all of his players, thanks them. He went out the right way. Do I think he left early? I'm a big fan. And look, if you're going to leave, you tell them, hey, I'm going to leave, but I'm going to stay. I'm going to ride this ride out with you. You get me in for another 8 seconds. If I fall off before then, I'm going to get back up and get on, but you're going to get the full 8 seconds. You don't just bail on these
right. At least play the damn bowl game. I get it. And he wanted to get there before that December 15th, just like Chris Price talked about it with me the other night. He wanted to get there before that December 15th early signing so he could get all those kids that just decommitted and get them to sign before December 15th. When did he tell the players? He told the players 5 minutes before he left. 5 minutes before he walked out the door, got on a plane, he left. I mean,
And it wasn't even a good speech. It was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing this for my daughters." And he like rolled out.
Well, and again, like I said, I'm never going to jump on anybody that wants to better themselves or whatever the case. If California is better for them, okay, cool, I get it. I know it's probably going to cost. He's going to be paying the cost of living. He's going to be paying the cost of living that he would. I mean, it's not going to be no different than here in Oklahoma. It's just going to be a higher cost of living. He's going to be in and making about the same amount of money that he makes.
Bad.
I get it. I get it. But if it was for your kids, it was for your wife, who I honestly think probably had a big drive in him leaving, was probably his wife, and wanting something different. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, you're right. He ride it out till the end of the season, then go, and then. But hey, Big Bob, love him, hate him. He stepped up. He did the right thing for the University of Oklahoma. I appreciate what he did. I'm sure there's some bad feelings. I don't care what he said in the press conference. I'm sure there's some bad feelings because Bob put his seal of approval on Lincoln Riley and said, "This is the heir apparent here at Oklahoma."
Yeah.
And then 5 years later, you're going to turn around and do him dirty. So Bob could say, Bob was probably like, hey, 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 I'm so proud of Lincoln, blah, 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 blah. But deep down, I know deep down, Bob was like, this SOB.
He did not, Miss Eve, he did not give them an Oscar-worthy farewell. He gave them a 5 minute, I did it for my family, and I'm sorry, and just ran out and got on a plane.
That's my mother-in-law. I can't believe she's on here talking shit. My mom talking shit. Brad, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it was money more than the SEC. I don't think there's any coach out there that's afraid to. I mean, maybe they are, but I just don't think there's any coach out there afraid to play football. I don't. I really don't. I don't think anybody's scared of any conference whatsoever. If anything, I think he would want to be. I mean, he wasn't happy with the move. I know that for sure. He wasn't like on board with the move. So I'm sure it had a little bit of influence. But at the end of the day, $15 million a year is probably overrides anybody playing SEC football. I don't know. But again, the only two people that can tell you that is Lincoln and God. I would like to think. I like to see the best in people for the most part. I would like to think that he didn't run scared from the SEC. I would like to think that. I hope his mother wasn't upset with him.
I hope she was.
I hope his mother was upset at him. Hell, everybody in Oklahoma is. It's fine. So, let me ask you. I mean, enough about Lincoln. We'll have more to talk about that down the road. First year since what? 2016? 2016, Texas doesn't make a bowl game. What changes need to go on down in Texas now?
Athletic director down. Like all the coaches, athletic director, there needs to be a new philosophy in Texas because the way they're doing it right now isn't working. It's not. So that coaching staff today, like you don't see anything good about them in anything when you see it. The kids don't. I mean, and then the kids absolutely hate them. They hate them. They hate suiting up. Everything. You got dudes jumping into the portal and leaving. I mean, I think like one guy is going to like New York's Southern Christian on the weekends academy. Like they don't care, man. They just want to get out of there. Sarkisian is not a head coach. He's not. He He's a coordinator at best. He's a coordinator. He is not a leader. He's not the leader. He's a mid-level manager. Period. And he's shown that. He can't relate to people. He can't communicate, and he doesn't know how to motivate these guys. The relationship, Brad, between the coaching staff and the players is absolutely a dumpster fire.
So was this Texas's idea? Okay, we're going into the SEC. Because they knew before they even hired Sark that they were going to the SEC. We all agree that even before they announced that they were going to the SEC, they were going. We knew that. Can you borrow coaches? If we could borrow coaches, my mom, I would. Yeah, if we could borrow coaches, I'm sure the team's done that. That's why I love you, Mom. Good job. Did they hire Sark thinking that he could prepare them for the SEC?
Yeah.
Was that the reason they hired Sark?
He's coming from the GOAT. I mean, you say what you want to about Nick Saban. That dude is a college football god, period. And he has a way of rehabilitating failed coaches. I mean, look what he's done with Lane Kiffin. I hate Lane Kiffin. Like, I absolutely hate that dude. Goes underneath Saban, turns around, and, he's doing great. I hope he does the same with Charlie Strong. This was the plan, like, hey, we're going to bring Sark in. Sark's going to do great things. We're going to be able to compete because he knows SEC offense. Like, he's been around the SEC, the coach over the last, 15 years, and he's going to help us get there. Like, this is how we're going to get in there. It's going to help us with recruiting because he knows where Nick likes to go. It's a great fit on paper.
Yeah.
But look at his resume as a coach. How's his resume as a coach been? It has not been good.
No.
As a coordinator, that's great. But as a coordinator, as soon as something's going wrong, the coach, the leader, Nick Saban, like, you see him all the time. He is in one of those coordinator spaces. Like, look, we're only up by 60, okay? We can't have this happen again. So and you don't see that from Sarkisian. Like, he doesn't do anything but crouch down, put his elbows on his knees, and look pathetic on the sideline.
Yeah.
And he's got the players. He has the players to be great. But he's not a man. He's not a leader. And the guys that he has underneath him are not managers.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, we talked about it almost every show that we've done. That, I mean, we watch how Sark walks the sidelines and is not near the players whatsoever, and I get that. But obviously something needs to change down there, and I don't know what it is, and I like Sark. I mean, I guess I might be in the minority there. I don't know how, obviously you and I are the only, ones that talk. I don't really talk to other Texas fans down there, but I like him. But I hope he can straighten it up. Brian asked, "What's your opinion on Casey Thompson?"
Look, I like an actor, you got to have a good script. Chefs aren't any good if the food's rotten. I just don't think. I mean, like when they brought him in, it looked like they had a great offensive balance and a plan, and it just kind of fell apart. Like, they just kind of acted like they don't know what to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what place should we call? Their whole game plan changed after they went on this roll, and then that just kind of, now they're just like, well, that didn't work. We're going to try this. We're going to try this. And it all goes back to coaching. Like, these guys are being managed, they're being managed horribly. They've got talent, they're just being managed badly. So the alumni aren't going to stand for it. Like, they're not. We're 6-game losing streak. That's the longest in history. Like, this is alumni. The Texas alumni are not going to have this. Like, this dude is. If he is still around by the end of the season, before the start of next year, I will be surprised.
I had that same feeling. I know the alumni, so I have that same feeling. Yeah. And I think
I
that
just
kind
don't
of
see them
answers
waiting.
Brad's question. If the players won't play for him,
Yeah. So, yeah, this ain't. Texas is not one of those schools that likes to do long-term rebuilding, and the win-loss record has been opposite of where it needs to be for. I mean, since what's his name, Coach Mack left. So, this is, no.
I mean, we know it's not. I mean, we know it's not recruiting because they still recruit. They still get 5 stars. They still get 4 stars. So we know it's not the recruiting.
Yep.
It's. I mean, it's got to be in the coaching. And you're right. I don't think that the alumni will handle it or will do. They'll boot him before the damn athletic director will. And if the alumni is not supporting you, and this goes for every college, I know that if the alumni is not supporting you, you're out the door. And Brad, I think that's answers your question, Brad, is if the players don't play for him, he's going to be replaced because the alumni is not going to allow for it. I could see 1 and out. I could see 1 and done. Hell, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy because
the alumni
he would be the first.
Check.
I mean, yeah, this would be the first that I can recall of any, I guess, Saban student, if you want to call him that, whatever you want to call him, somebody that falls under Saban. This would be the first one. Yes, mom, it's like Survivor. If now she's got me.
That's great.
This is the first, someone under Nick Saban's tutelage that didn't fare well, and and this is, I don't know if you want that on your resume as a head. No. I mean, you may end up going back and being an OC somewhere, but man, I don't know.
I could see Saban taking him back. I mean, look where they're at without him right now. Like they're hoping they make the college football playoff, the CFP. When he was their OC, when he didn't have the weight, that's what I mean. When he didn't have the weight of responsibility, he looked like he was very competent and skilled at his job. You put that crown on your head, man. They say, and I just don't think that he can. And Texas, man, that's you are talking about one of the football schools in the country. We're not just talking about the Big 12. I mean, this is, if there are problems in Texas, it's like everybody's going to talk about Texas. So you got the eyes on you. You're not at, Universal Coastal College or anything like that, trying to put some stuff together and everybody's like, oh, what's up at UC? No, you're at Texas. And I was like, what in the hell is wrong with the Longhorns? So, yeah, I don't expect him to be around. If they can find a coach to bring in here and replace him before the start of next season, I expect that to happen. So.
Well, I mean, that's what both Oklahoma and Texas got to do. They got to find somebody that is, SEC prepared, I guess. I mean, someone that's willing and knows the SEC inside and out, I guess. So that's what both of them got to do. Obviously, I don't know where OU goes. Brad, we don't want Lane Kiffin. There's no way in the world I will become an Oklahoma State fan if they hire Lane Kiffin. If they hire Lane Kiffin, I'm becoming an Oklahoma State fan. I'd rather root for a mullet than Lane Kiffin.
What about Ed Edgeron?
No, I don't want Coach O either. No. There's too much. There's too much with Lane Kiffin. There's too much with. What'd you say?
I said he's won in the SEC.
I know it, but there's too much baggage with Coach O right now. There's too much baggage with Lane Kiffin. There's too much baggage with Coach O. I don't think I don't think Joe C would go for it. I honestly don't think Joe C would go for that. I think he wants somebody that has no baggage whatsoever. Now, whether that's Coach Venables, whether that's I mean, hell, I even
Texas.
and I'm not gonna go. He said no. Talking about I don't think Texas would take Lane Kiffin.
No.
I don't think Texas would take Lane Kiffin. I really don't.
No.
There's too much baggage with him, and he's the type of person that wouldn't stay for longer than 2 to 3 years. If he leaves Mississippi, that just continues his trend of staying 2 or 3 years somewhere and bouncing around. If you're a university, if you're the president or the athletic director, you want somebody that you hope will stay for their term. I mean, that's what you really want. You really want somebody that's going to stay. Mom, Baker Mayfield got a. He played. I'm done with you, Mom. I'm done with you, Mom. But
he's great.
I'm gonna drop a name that was slightly rumored yesterday on a podcast I heard. Another friend sent it to me, and I'm just gonna leave it all out. But I heard Dabo Swinney's name. Involved in the talks as the next head coach at OU.
He's at A&M right now, right?
No, Dabo Swinney's Clemson.
Clemson.
They would bring
Clemson,
in both Dabo and Coach Venables. Hey, this was from Soonerscoop.com. Now, hey, Kerry and them and John Hoover. If you listen to any talk radio down here in sports, you know John Hoover. You know that he has been pretty much on the ball the entire year. Now, I'm not saying that is remotely likely, but let's look at it this way. If the pipeline to Clemson has been cut off, per se, why not get into a team that you know that's going to the SEC, where you have a pipeline to those players again, per se, and you start recruiting to go into the SEC and win?
That's not a bad move at all, honestly. Yeah, Dabo's not a bad move. The question is whether or not he's going to leave Clemson, because, they love him. They love that dude. I don't think Venables wants to be a coach, man. I think he's content where he's at because, again, he doesn't want to wear that crown. He just seems like when he's been offered jobs and he's done he's done the dating and everything, the speed dating with him the whole night, but he hasn't committed. And I just think he doesn't want that responsibility. So, but yeah,
I think he doesn't want to end up like Bo Pelini. He doesn't want to end up like Bo Pelini at Nebraska. He saw Bo Pelini as a coordinator, and he saw what happened to Bo Pelini there in Nebraska, and he doesn't want that to happen to him. I guarantee it. All right, well, we'll speculate more about that when more coaching things go around. We've seen a few things. We just talked about Brian Kelly. Congratulations to Marcus Freeman getting the job at Notre Dame. Man, I mean, that was something I'm not an Irish fan, but I thought that was the best move that they could make, and it obviously sounds like the players wanted it as well. And I'm again not a Notre Dame fan whatsoever, but I thought that was the best move for the Irish. So congratulations on that one.
Yeah, that was a smart move. The coach leaving, and then keep the players happy. If the players are happy, then you're gonna have positive recruiting, because when these guys, because they talk, the players talk, and these guys are reaching out to them, and hey, would you like it there? How's coach? Blah blah blah. You know, you're getting positive vibes from everybody, so you're gonna have positive recruiting. And I mean, at some point in time, I really think Notre Dame is gonna marry up with one of these conferences, man, and they're gonna be a problem.
They got to, after what was said about that some of the stuff in the CFP, that president, some of the stuff that he said. They've got to marry this half in, half out with the ACC is just not going to cut it. I know that's why they were kind of playing half with the ACC to get some of that, but I mean, it's not going to cut it. And if you're a Notre Dame fan, I mean, that's why BYU, and I'm glad BYU did that. That's going to make it a little bit better for BYU moving into the Big 12. Now they have a shot to go out and win a conference to get at least get a remote chance at getting in the CFP, because as independent, it's just not going to happen. And I mean, they have Cincinnati ranked right now in the top 4, but that could literally change in the matter of 2 games on Saturday. They could drop out, just even though undefeated, they may just be placating some of us. But if Oklahoma State goes out and dominates, Baylor, they're in. If Alabama upsets Georgia, they're in. Now you got Michigan. If they dominate Iowa, they're in. And I still think a one-loss Georgia gets in. I guarantee you Cincinnati drops out. Guarantee it.
Yeah, that's awful. I think the 3 most deserving teams for the CFP right now, in my opinion, are Georgia, number 1, Michigan 2, and Cincinnati 3. Those are the 3 most deserving teams. 4, Alabama, man. I don't think Alabama should even be at 4. I think they're probably 5 or 6. I mean, they get the Saban effect and all of that stuff, because they haven't been dominating. I mean, hell, the last game they won, they had to come back and win that. Oklahoma State has been playing well. They got 5. 5 is
right now they've got I believe it's the current is Georgia, Michigan, Cincinnati, Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, Cincinnati at 4, Okie State is at 5, and I believe Notre Dame is at 6. That's what they have right now. My top 6 right now, I have Notre Dame in over Okie State right now. I do, just because of Okie State and Baylor. I don't want to put them in the top 4 just yet, because if Baylor sneaks up on them, could Baylor for some weird reason sneak into the top 4? I don't think so. I think Okie State.
If Alabama loses, I think Baylor could jump into the top 4. It's gonna, and they need some other, and they'd have to win. Like, they'd have to beat Okie State convincingly. I mean, just mollywop these dudes. Yeah. And then Alabama they just have to lose, because, like we said, they've been habitually line stepping the whole year. So
I honestly think, and this is just my opinion, I honestly think the top 4 ends up being Georgia at number 1, Michigan number 2. I think if Okie State convincingly beats Baylor, just destroys them, and Georgia destroys Alabama, then I think Okie State jumps to 3 and Cincinnati stays at 4. That's my honest opinion. I can't see, like we talked about, without Notre Dame being married into a conference.
Yeah,
I don't know if
they have a championship.
I don't know if they can jump. Yeah, they don't have a championship. They've already played their last game, so they can't jump anybody that I see. So, as long as Okie State continues to play the way they're doing, and controls the defensive line, and the line of scrimmage and defense, and Sanders doesn't have turnovers against Baylor, I think they really can. I'm not saying they're going to go out because Oaky State hasn't put shootout numbers all year long, but I do think they win convincingly by holding Baylor to 14 and 17 points, and Oaky State puts up 30, 35, maybe 40 points. That's a convincing win to me against a really good Baylor team.
Yeah.
But in turn,
to even think that Alabama's not going to beat Georgia. They're not going to be Georgia. Georgia has given up what? Less than 50 points for the whole year? I think it's less than 40, honestly.
Damn near, yeah.
It's stupid how many points they haven't allowed, we should say. I mean, they got, 3 shutouts this year? 2, 3 shutouts? It's and Alabama's offense is far from dominating. I mean, it's not. It's mediocre this year. It's been enough to get them. It's been enough to get them some wins. Look at you two. Oh,
we ain't
God,
Oaky State fans. We're just calling it as we see it. Kyle,
we're not Oaky State fans. This is where we're at, bro. We got to talk about it. If you're a vegetarian,
we don't have any choice but to talk about them. All right, let me get something. Let me get something out of the way before we continue. Yeah. Let's get this out of the way real quick for my pickers for the turn or the weekly pickers. First up, we got Baylor at Oaky State, or Baylor versus Oaky State. The heads up, I'm not giving points this week, but heads up, I think Oaky State wins it.
Wow.
I
don't know, man. I'm feeling Baylor.
All right. Cool. It's going to be a good game. There's no doubt about my mind that this could be just like Bedlam the other night. I think it could come down to one possession. I really do, between these two, because even in the first meeting, it was fairly close for the most part. It wasn't a blowout by Oaky State against Baylor the first game. But I don't know. It's going to be a good game, and I think at the end, I think Oaky State wins it. And I will burn my mouth as soon as I'm done with this show for even saying that. But that's where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with
next
Baylor.
up. Kyle, get your ass out of here with the OU Texas games. Take you out back behind the shed and stomp a mud hole in you. All right, next up we got Appalachian State versus Louisiana.
You said who?
Appalachian State versus Louisiana. Raging Cajuns.
That man, I think that's going to be an interesting game. I'm gonna pick App State in the upset.
I am too. I am going with App State as well. They tend to have that nice like underdog feel to them, where they can. I mean, they almost beat Miami this year, so it's possible. The big game, obviously the biggest game of the weekend, Georgia, Alabama. No doubt Georgia wins it.
Yeah. Yeah, Georgia is the most complete team in football this year. So.
I agree. All right, next up, Houston versus Cincinnati.
Oh, man. I think this is going to be a shootout,
There's
man.
a creeper here. Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be a shootout. The Houston quarterback is thrown for like, I don't know, 2,500 yards, 2,800 yards. Tons of. I think it's going to be a. I think it's going to be a shootout. There's going to be some points and bunches on this one, and I think at the end of the day, I think this is Cincinnati's year to prove, man, that they are worthy of jumping into that CFP in that number 4 spot.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my pick. They haven't let me down all year. And I stick with them. And I'm going with Cincinnati as well. I think they make the top 4. They're the first team to do it, and I'm proud of them. So I hope they do it. I guess this would be the second biggest game of the weekend, in my opinion. Obviously, due to we talked about this team, and there's still a possibility that Michigan can end up with a second loss. I'm not saying Iowa's going to beat them outright, but there's a chance. But I'm so glad Michigan beat Ohio State. And Timothy Olin, if you're watching, Chief, in your face. I'm glad they lost.
Called him out, huh?
I called him out. No, I'm glad they won. But you called Michigan. I called Iowa from day one when I started talking about them. I felt they could be a dark horse in the Big Ten. Here they are. You called Michigan winning it out and being the one-loss team at the end of the year. So we kind of both right there in the end. The only thing that Michigan has going against them right now is that hangover. That's the only thing that they have going against them. But I think they do it. I think they hold on, and I think they win that game. I think Michigan wins.
I'm not worried about the hangover, man. I really think I think that they're going to perform better having exercised that demon of Ohio State. And they didn't like, it was a convincing beatdown, man. It was demoralizing, in the snow. When has Ohio State allowed a running back to score 5 touchdowns on them? When have they allowed a team to run over 260 yards on the ground against them? It's offensively, I think Michigan's weakness, their offensively, their weakness is their quarterback. He's not bad, but he is their weakness because I feel like he gets overconfident in his arm. He thinks he's got that Brett Favre strength, and he kind of tries to throw balls where he shouldn't, and he costs them. But the kid can play football. By no means is he, a giant hole in the ship taking on water. He's just got to stay calm and play smart. If he does that, they're gonna destroy Iowa. They're gonna destroy. I'm not worried about Michigan's defense. They went up against one of the best offenses in the country and essentially shut them down. So.
Yeah, I agree. I just think Michigan's the better team all around as well too. And not that I'm not, like I said, I like Iowa, but after watching certain things now, I just don't think Iowa has the oomph to beat them on this one. So I'm with you on Michigan. All right, next up, kind of like OU, this is the first time in 6 years that we will not see Clemson in the ACC championship, and it's Pittsburgh at Wake Forest.
I think this is going to be the game of the weekend, man. This is going to be both of these teams battle like all year. They've been battling. If you look at each of their records, they haven't they're each 2-loss teams, but there's some tight. They've had some tight strong. They have some really close, tight games, and then they've had some blowouts. But every one of them games, both sides play really, really hard. So, 15-16. I mean, you're not number 1 playing number 24. You're not number 3 playing number 19. This 15-16. I mean, these dudes are. This is as matched a contest as you're going to have this weekend. And I'm going to go with Wake Forest.
I'm going with Pittsburgh. I'm
Okay.
going to go with Pittsburgh. For no other reason, and nothing against Wake Forest, just for no other reason, I just think they have the better Heisman candidate quarterback than Wake Forest does. I just I don't know. It's going to be. You're right. This is probably the best matchup game other than Baylor and Oaky State. I think that's going to be a close game, and I think this will be a high-scoring game, but a close game as well. And I think it's probably going to be nail-biting and worth the watch. All right, next up we got Kent State versus Northern Illinois.
Kent State.
I had to pick all the championship games, so nobody pick on me for these picks.
I'm going to pick Northern Illinois because I can't pick a team named after anybody that I know.
Yeah, right. I'm with you, though. I think Northern Illinois is the better team. All right, next up, I just another game. I just because it's a championship game, I got to throw it in there. Utah State versus San Diego State.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with San Diego. I think their passing game is gonna win that game for them.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Their passing attack has been pretty spectacular this year, and I think they're the better. Again, when it comes down to it, they're the better team overall. Yeah. All right, and next up we got USC versus the Cal Bears. This is a makeup game that should have been played earlier in the season, but due to COVID protocols, they rescheduled it. So we have it this weekend. USC at California.
Just because everything that's gone down, I'm rooting for Cal. I mean, I'm
I
being
hope
petty
Cal
right now.
donkey kicks. I hope Cal donkey kicks the shit out of USC.
Yeah, they.
All right, and
I mean, they might have great coach, but their skill level hasn't gone up, man. California is. I think California is going to have a field day with these dudes.
I agree. And last but not least, a rematch of a couple of weeks ago for the Pac-12. Utah handled Oregon pretty convincingly, but this is a rematch, and it's hard to beat the same team twice in a year. Oregon at Utah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Oregon. Since that, they've had a couple of losses and they seem to rebound well, but I think they're gonna go into this game firing on all cylinders. I think they're more healthy now than they were, towards the middle of the year, and I think they're gonna play well, and I think they're gonna beat Oregon. Or excuse me, they're gonna beat Utah.
I am taking Utah.
What?
I am taking Utah. I think Utah's got their number. I said that at the beginning of the year. I said Oregon always struggles against Utah, and I think Utah might be the better team as far as controlling the ground game and running that ball and keeping it out of Oregon's hands. So I'm taking Utah. And that is our top 10 picks right there. So, yeah, you're right. I think Baylor, Oaky State, and Pittsburgh and Wake Forest, as far as games go to watch that you really want to watch, I think that's the one for me. I mean, I think Georgia handles Alabama. I wouldn't be surprised if there's people turning off the Georgia-Alabama game at halftime. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't turn it off because I like seeing an animated Nick Saban. Because I mean that's a show in itself. But yeah, I mean I would have to agree with you. I still think the best game. I think the game of the weekend is still going to be Pitt at Wake Forest.
All right. Well, we will get on to NFL real quick because we got a game to go catch here in about 5 minutes.
Hopefully they pull it out, man. They got to get their stuff together.
We have not won on Thursday night all year. I just want that to be. So I'm really worried about this game. If I'm not worried about the matchup because, like I was talking to Eric last night, we always match up well against the Saints. I think we always have great games against the Saints. I just fear for that Thursday night factor that we haven't had a great season on Thursday night.
Yeah. No, we haven't had a great game on Thursday night. I mean, we should do a lot better. You got who's it just coming back for defense? We got Gregory tonight. We got
back.
Lawrence.
We got. Yeah.
We got CD back. I mean, I expect them to play a lot better. I mean, I'm not sure. McCarthy is the man. I don't like his clock management, and I don't like how he just kind of looks confused all the time when like a shitty play is called in. I mean, you can see like on his face, he's like, "What did we run that for?" Like he doesn't know what's being called. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Kellen Moore.
Yeah, I'm right there.
I feel like there's times where he's like, let me go to the old Jason Garrett playbook and see what we can pull out. And I'm like, dude, no, that didn't work. That's why he's, write your own plays, steal somebody else's plays, not Jason Garrett's. Des Bryant has been right about that dude for years, and nobody's listening to him until now. So.
Yeah. So I know you're taking the Cowboys. I took the Cowboys. We got that one off the board. Let's go with Chargers at Bengals.
That's going to be a good game. Cincinnati is probably, in my opinion, Cincinnati is the surprise team of the year. You add a couple of little pieces.
They're playing the best ball right now, I feel like.
Yeah. Burrow looks like he's been playing in the league, 5-6 years. And, him and Chase have just been, doing their thing forever. I mean, if he's not high-fiving, the front office for putting those pieces in place for him, like the chemistry between those two is ridiculous. But I mean, the Chargers, I don't seem like they kind of lost their footing. They just they started off and it was like, oh, we're gonna you got to play the Chargers. What were they like? 4-1, 5-1 starting the year, and then they just it's just been helter skelter. So I'm gonna go with the team, and I'm gonna pick Cincinnati, man.
I am with you. I'm Cincinnati on this one as well. All right. Giants at Dolphins.
This is
Now that we
probably
just talked about Jason Garrett, he's out of the way.
This is the Little League game of the night. Yeah, Jesus. I am going to, man. I am going to pick the Giants simply because of Saquon. If the Giants stop relying on Daniel Jones to be the running back and give it to the possibly one of the most gifted running back in the league right now, I think they would be a lot better. And Jones could stop worrying about having to run. He could focus on being a better, passer. And I think they'd wear some teams down because Saquon is a monster. So that's why I'm picking them. That's the only reason I think that they're going to win.
I am picking the Dolphins just because I think they're finally got settled down. They've been playing really good ball the last 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, they almost beat the Bills until the Bills came back, but they put it on Baltimore. The Dolphins put it on Baltimore. So I'm taking the Dolphins in this. I'm just not ready to buy the whole. We know Jason Garrett was a problem. We all know it, but I'm not ready to buy that they're out of his. That it's completely out of their system of him. So I'm taking the Dolphins on that one. All right, next up is. I was talking to Eric about this one last night, where this game could be. There's a lot riding on this game, and it's not because the Raiders beat the Cowboys. It's because Washington football team just got the Raiders football team coach fired. So I think there's some hostility, and I think there's some bad blood there.
Yeah. Look, Washington has been playing decent football, but the Raiders have been playing good football, and I think they're going to continue to play good football. Washington's defense is they've got a good defense, but they have some problems in the secondary, and I think Carr is just he's just playing great. I don't think Washington's defense is at the same caliber as our defense, and he put up 30 points on them. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders, and for the the simple fact, like you said, there's them dudes are blaming them guys for something like so.
Yeah, I would be surprised if we see more fights and more penalties than we saw in the Cowboy Raiders game. And the last game is Monday night. This team has been putting it on people without Tom Brady. This team has been putting it on people without. They have played some of the best ball since the Dallas game.
Yeah.
And New England is going into Buffalo. What do you think?
I think what is his Mac Jones? I think he's he and Bill are gonna go in there and they're gonna beat the Bills. Buffalo's another team, man. They started off. I fully expected Buffalo to dominate their conference, and they have not, man. Like it's shocking some of the games that they've lost. What they lost to Jacksonville, didn't they? Was it
Jacksonville?
Yeah, that was Jacksonville's first win. And that was less than they didn't even score a touchdown, man. So it's New England is, in my opinion, they are the hottest team in football right now. So and nobody's questioning Bill anymore. They're like, oh well, Bill is still the greatest coach, to hold a whistle. That dude is. You can see exactly what he had in mind, and it's all falling into place. I expect him to go to the playoffs. I expect him to make some noise and contend to go to the Super Bowl.
I agree. They're the second seed right now. So, but I think they're going into Buffalo, and for some, I just think Buffalo win. I think they'll split. I think when Buffalo goes to New England, I think they'll lose. But I think New England coming into Buffalo, I've got Buffalo winning.
Okay. We shall see.
And that's it. I think. Nope. You taking New England?
Yeah, taking New England.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our picks. Excellent. Well, I'm glad we're back. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Likewise. Except for the loss. I mean, it was great.
Yeah. Except for that is literally when the worst part of my entire life of 2021 happened, was from 9:00 at night on Thursday till we finally coach in Oklahoma. Well, hopefully something happens. But let's go enjoy some football. We'll come back next week. We'll talk about it. Hopefully we'll have a coach by then. Hopefully we'll have some more news by then. But I hope you enjoy your weekend. And I did get us another person for the game. I talked to Ty, so I'll be working to get us some more people for that as well.
Nice. Very nice.
But I'll keep talking to you about Wheel of Time, Eye of the World here as it keeps going on. And thanks for giving me some pointers on it. It's been a long time since I read that, so I missed some stuff.
Yeah, one of my favorite series. I actually started reading the books again, and then found out that the series was coming. So, I mean, I think they've done a really good job. But that's something we could talk about another time.
Absolutely. Set up a show on it or something as well. But I will see you next week. Take care of yourself, brother.
All right, brother. Good luck tonight.
All right. Thanks for coming. Yep. Thanks for coming out tonight. We'll see you guys next week. Later.